Hello, friends. Welcome to Perfect in Love with John and Kim. I'm John,
And I'm Kim.
and here we are. Got a great episode ahead of you. We're back to talking about marriage and us and things that, I don't know, you may or may not care about. But now that Bayshore has their very own podcast, I think we're going to work on removing a little bit of the camp talk from this podcast the best we can. I mean, it is basically our life, so I'm sure there'll still be plenty, but trying to dial our focus back over to marriage and particular being Christians and marriage and how God is all parts of that are intertwined in all of that. And yeah, life in general. And so here is our crack at moving back into that world. And so we prepared independently. We haven't talked to each other about what we're going to talk about really. And so yeah, we'll see how this goes and what this looks like. And so I came up with an idea for us to share with each other what we thought our top several, it might be three, we might end up doing four or five, maybe even six or seven
Oh
of
my gosh.
our top memories, moments with each other in our life together. I would say marriage, but we've been together longer than we've been married. In fact, we've reached a point where we've been together um, longer than we haven't in
Yeah.
our lives, which is a weird new space to enter into. And so I said, hey, you do your homework, you figure out what you think those moments are and why, and I'll do my homework and figure out what those moments are and why. And I did some extra ones in case we had some crossover and we couldn't fill enough time talking about it. But yeah, we'll kind of take turns on that. And here we go. How did you feel when I proposed this? Let's uh,
When
start
you
there.
proposed or proposed this?
Proposed this, not well. I mean, we could talk about that too if we haven't, but maybe
Yeah.
that's a different episode.
I was caught off guard a little bit
Why?
because you messaged me and said you need to do your homework.
Yeah.
And okay, I had some ideas, but there's so many things in like the amount of time we've been together. I feel bad prioritizing or thinking about different things, ranking higher than others. So, you know,
Yeah, I had some of that too, but I guess my thought was, um, a I think it's really healthy that it forces us to think about it and to
Mhm.
reminisce, and it for me it brought up a lot of memories, and I think that's a good thing. And B, ranking's not the end of the world because I think it makes you think harder on it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So maybe they won't be in order. Maybe we'll forget some things, we'll leave some things out, we'll choose things over others. Maybe there'll be somebody who'll listen and be like, "Are you kidding? You didn't include this? What is wrong with you guys?" And maybe somebody will listen and they'll go, "Wow, I didn't realize you guys did that," and that'll be really cool. Or they'll judge us, or no one will listen and nobody will care. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. But you and I will sit here together as husband and wife, and we'll get to reminisce and talk about it, and that'll be cool. So I don't think any bad things come from it.
Okay.
So what's your first one?
What's my first one?
Well, yeah, I just did a lot of talking, and
So
you're gonna make me pray,
they're not
and I had to come up with the idea.
okay, fine.
So what's your last one or your first one? I don't know.
They're not in any order because when you get old, everything starts blending as far as years are concerned.
Well, not order
But
chronologically.
right, that's what I'm saying.
So what's the our dog just decided to pick right now to be like a giant dork. I don't know what
And
she's
to roll
doing.
around her back and to snort like a pig.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
What is your number three?
Our vow renewal.
Wow. Okay.
The order. But like I remember when it was during well, right on the tail end kind of COVID and you had originally booked a trip for us for our 10-year anniversary to go to Hawaii and I was more skeptical than you were, I feel like, at the time of going over there because of horror stories and such that we were hearing. And so we decided not to do that and to spend the money that we were gonna do for that and do a vow renewal here at the camp. Um, and I just remember talking to you about that conversation. We were on our way to or from the lake house, and I can't remember, but and talking through what that could look like and why we were doing it and stuff. So it's like I remember a lot of the day, yes, but I remember having that conversation with you on why it felt important and it felt right. Do
Mm.
I wanna go back to Hawaii or do I wanna go to Hawaii because 'cause I've never been there? Yes, of course, but, like, I remember that conversation and where we were and all of that too, so
Okay. I'm just gonna add disclaimer. This episode may actually go longer than what we normally do, primarily because our new hosting platform. I think we can go longer than 30 minutes, but I haven't tried it, so I'm excited to see that. And we finally have some content for you guys. Also, I don't intend on cutting this and editing it and going back and doing another take. And our dog is just being super extra tonight, and she's laughing about it. So I may laugh at some point.
Well, she's also had a very sore paw for, like, the last month or so, and we finally got some medicine,
She's
and
feeling
she's
good.
feeling a lot better, and it's looking a lot better, and now she's playing like she's a puppy.
Yeah,
So,
she's so extra right now.
yeah.
I think the vow renewal, like I thought about putting that on the list, but I was almost certain you would. So I loved it. I loved, and I think what I liked, maybe not most, but I liked a lot about it was actually our talking and our planning through it and planning doing it. Um, the money we ended up spending overall, we probably could have went to Hawaii. Uh, I kind of initially when we decided to do it, I was like, well, it'll let me off the hook a little bit for a while because it won't cost as much as that was going to. Wrong, but also, um, it was because I had just taken the job here at the camp too, so I
Yeah.
had to take a little bit of time off during one of our biggest camps, which was just something I'll never do again. But um, it was good and it went well and it happened. It was a great time. We had to involve friends that we didn't involve in our wedding,
Because we didn't
but
know
also
them at the
right,
time or yeah,
and it
yep,
it created really special moments. I
yep.
loved having Donnie do it. That was a cool memory that we'll have for a long time and was good. Um, it was really cool getting the picture with everyone that was there and just kind of a different group of people for us, and a lot of the same, but some different, and just a really good time. The time at the barn with the reception
Mhm.
was awesome too, and I love the idea you had for having people write the letters to us for us to open on our anniversaries. That's been a great treat already, in the couple of years since then. Um,
Well, and I feel like our wedding was wonderful, but like we were young. Like we were 22 and 23 when we got married. So like
Still young.
in the grand scheme of things, people will say that's young. And it is because it feels like I'm we're both having birthdays here shortly. It doesn't feel like we're turning the age we are, but um our wedding was wonderful, but the vow renewal was different because like it was you and I already as a married couple
Hmm.
planning a celebration of the 10 years that we had together or plus because we were obviously together for a while before we got married, but it was you and I. And like every decision that was made that day was you and I. Like, yes, I appreciated my parents' input, your mom's input when we were doing the wedding. And obviously that was bigger and such, but it felt more intimate and it felt like a different form of us because our marriage was growing. And in that day showed how much we've grown since our wedding to that day too. So it was cool to kind of see that too and recognize it.
Okay. What was your next one?
You
I'm kidding. I
you're
knew you'd do that. I've got like 10 listed
you're a
here.
turd.
And I've got some on that like I don't know if you would expect. We should have played a fun game of like guessing what we thought the other one
Oh.
would write, in hindsight. And I have some on here that I don't know, maybe would be honorable mention or it could be grouped together. I'm gonna go with the first day we spoke on the phone.
Hmm. Okay.
It was a really special day for me. I wasn't in a great spot. I was away up at Northern. and we'd been talking on instant messenger on the computer, and so I called you, and we just talked, and I walked around Marquette, um, and it was cold and fall like, um, but I can still like remember how I felt, how it was cold outside, and everywhere I walked that day and when I walked around, and I don't really distinctly remember all the things we talked about, but it was just different. And it's a memory that'll always be vivid in a lot of ways to me.
Yeah, I thought of stuff like that too. Um, but part of me, I guess, when you told me to do homework, I thought it was like after we got married. so, so I
So that one's not on your
no,
list.
because I didn't go back that far. But yeah, I still remember that day too. In a lot of those early memories, and but yeah, so that's a good one.
Okay.
Oh, you want my next one?
Yeah.
Oh, believe my next one was when we went to Alaska.
Oh, okay. I have one on here, not like that trip as a whole, but I have one from that trip on here. So tell me about Alaska.
Um, so I remember you being really excited to take me on that trip. It was like a belated anniversary trip because before we have jobs here at the camp, we would go in and around our anniversary. And that year it just happened to be money, time, and all of the fun stuff. So it was a little delayed, but um I just remember it being a trip where we just were so carefree. Like,
Yeah.
it was just, we got to do what we wanted. I got to go see the things we wanted to see, like, because up to that point, besides like our honeymoon, we had gone on bigger trips with other people. And so, like, Alaska was, we had maybe a Vegas trip in there, but it was with your previous employer and stuff too. But like, it was like, besides that, it was like one of our bigger trips that it was just you and I.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. There's so many like little detailed moments in that trip that it stands out as one of the ones that are like my favorite because it was,
Well, it was one we actually paid for. Like
yeah,
that
yeah, that,
the trips, when I worked with State Farm were earned, no doubt. They were, not bonuses if you will, but earned incentives. And so in a way they were paid for, but like not ones we would have actually written the check for and booked,
right.
and
Yeah.
we couldn't have, frankly. And Alaska still is a sacrifice, but we made it work and it happened, and it was really cool. Yeah, one of the ones on my list that was probably going to be an honorable mention was the balcony breakfast
Watching the
on the
glacier,
cruise.
yeah, where they spun the ship around in the middle of the glacier, and you could look down off the balcony and see seals and stuff sitting on the little, pieces of ice that was broken off, and it was really cool.
Now, room service was included on the trip, so like we were acting like spoiled kids who, because that's not a thing we would normally do.
Oh, and that was the same trip where you ordered a ton of pancakes.
Yeah. So, you ordered on the TV, and I'm dumb. I guess I just haven't grown up that way. And so, like, there were just pictures of the different things, and it'd say, like, pancakes or eggs or whatever. And so, it was pancakes, and it was just up or down how many. And so I was like, three pancakes seems like a good amount of pancakes, and hit three. And then it was sausage. And, it's like, well, I would probably between the two of us, five or six sausage links, boom, six, and eggs, same thing. Three, four eggs, that's good. And I don't know what else it was, like everything else. It shows up, and it's like two people bringing our room service on a cart because it was three orders of pancakes, and it was six orders of sausage, which the sausage came with the pancakes, and it was four
Yeah.
orders of eggs. Like these people probably thought we were just
I remember just being like
stupid.
asleep still, kind of sitting up going, "What in the heck did you order?" Because there was just so much food.
I would say I've never felt more dumb in my life, but I've had my moments. So,
Yeah.
all right. So Alaska was technically yours, even though that was Mine. Um, Floating around in the pool at the hotel in Myrtle Beach was one of the other ones on my list I'm going to go with. So we took a Myrtle Beach trip um, just before I took the job at the to work at the camp food service, and I just remember us. Yeah, anytime you're in a pool, it's really cool. But we were the only two there at the hotel pool,
Mm.
and it was open until like 11 or 12 at night. So it was nighttime. It was nice out, and we were floating around. It wasn't blazing hot. I'm made out of milk chocolate, so I melt when the sun's out. It's not good to me. And but we were at a transition in life, and there was a lot of things to consider and wait. And I remember that being like the place where we basically kind of decided that moving here was a thing that was going to happen eventually, and that I was going to go for the job in food service. And I don't know, it's one of the moments that led to our life entirely changing. Plus, it was on vacation. It was a lot of
Right.
fun.
I feel like that because we're relaxed and we're talking to each other more often on vacations or trips like that, that's it tends to be where some of those moments have happened
Yeah.
for us. Like, um, I also remember that trip, like going to the Pelicans baseball game
Oh yeah.
and having
Bat
the
dog.
bat dog.
There was a lot of cool things about that trip. I would go back to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't like we've been to nice places, and we've been blessed to go a lot of places that other people haven't. But when we go on trips that are us and aren't, because I was with State Farm, whatever else, like we don't luxury vacation. We budget things, we walk around a lot,
Like to go see stuff, adventure type
yeah.
things.
But that was we just seen a lot of cool stuff on that trip. Did a lot of fun things.
Mhm.
So it was
Yeah.
good. What's your next one?
Mm. I believe it was when I called you right after I won at nationals.
Oh, that wasn't on my list.
Yeah. Um, so we worked on this is gonna sound weird saying it out of context, but my my program prop that year was my bathtub slash boat
Yeah.
because I did the new Mary Poppins, a song from the new Mary Poppins movie. And so we worked all during COVID shutdown, not knowing when I would perform or compete again or anything like that. And my brother came over and you guys for hours on end while I was learning a program in the driveway were working and helping me build this prop. So when I finally got to compete at nationals, I did a couple other local competitions before that, but I remember calling you or FaceTiming you right after I won with that because I felt like it wasn't just me
Mm.
that won that. It was a combination of me and you and all the sacrifices that we put forth to get me to that spot. And then all of my family, like with my brother, my mom and dad, your mom, help, like various people supporting and helping to get me to that spot. So like I wrote that down too.
It's pretty cool. I don't think I've heard you really share that perspective on it yet.
Yeah.
Um, that was something. That that bathtub, your brother and I love you. That's all I'll say about it.
Yeah.
That thing
So if
was
you've ever watched the new Mary Poppins movie, it's the song where she throws the kids down in the bathtub. It's called Can You Imagine That? And that was the song I skated to. But I had this vision of a bathtub turning into a boat. And on the other side, I spun it around, pulling an umbrella out of a bag, changing costumes. I had all the things because it was showcase skating. So I had all the bells and whistles. But that boat bathtub, you had to make sure none of the things fell off of it or you got deducted points. I had to get it out there and back off the ice in 30 seconds each way. So we had snowmobile wheels on it. We had to make sure all the things stayed on it. And then, like the night before, I had one of my friends from camp that was actually living downstate because of the heat and everything, because this was in June. She spent hours with me gluing back on all of my bubbles that were, so it looked like a bathtub because they all fell off in the end of June heat after we worked so long putting them on there. So it was like, I had so many friends and family that like supported me getting to that spot. Um, and it was just a really good, that was my talking Olympics and the Olympics being on deck. That was my Olympic moment because that program was my idea. So it was like the creativity and the hard work and the support from everyone just kind of came together. So
Okay, that's fair. It is my turn, and we've got a whiny dog to tend to right now too. Normally this is where I would pause and yell at her, but we're gonna keep going because why not? Trying to pick. Is this is my second one, right? No, first day we spoke wasn't that one. It was two. So this is my third one. Okay. Um, so this will be our last one, right? Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
We could. You got more. We could keep going. Uh, I'm I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. Hopefully, no one gets ideas on this one. I'll explain. The morning after our wedding.
I'm gonna laugh anyway.
Why? What are you laughing about?
Because my brain went to where everybody else's did, and it's not that at all.
Well, that just confirms it for people.
No,
Then
that's not it at all.
no. So, and it's gonna sound really silly, but we got up, and before we had later in the day, we had family over. We opened gifts and stuff like that, and had leftovers. I think probably lunch or so. But before that, we went and got McDonald's breakfast, and we drove to the cemetery where my dad is, and I don't know, it was just a good moment. Like, um, I'm not a big cemetery visitor type person. Like, I don't believe anything's really there, and um, it's not. I don't know. It's just not a big deal for me usually. But that might have been one of the few times that I just felt something there. And so you left your flowers, right?
Yeah.
Some of them there.
Well, it was my whole bouquet.
Your bouquet, yeah. And also just I don't know, McDonald's breakfast hit real good that day. And after everything that the wedding was, and how just big of a day that was. Our wedding was so hot, and it was such a long day. And I was so stupid the night before our wedding. And then the day before that was so big and so much that, like, I think that was the first time we just kind of like had normal and peace and quiet. Um, and for just that period of time, and I don't know, it's a big memory for me.
Yeah.
I had a steak, egg, and cheese bagel.
So did I.
Yeah. Yours is without onion, though.
Well,
'cause you're
yes,
weird.
because I'm weird. Yeah.
It's so good. Actually, I could go for one of those right now. Did you have any more?
I wrote down one more because I thought we were doing three, but
Yeah,
we can talk
so
about your other one.
We'll do a bonus.
Okay.
We'll each do one bonus one.
So this
Bonus content, Eric. You hear that? If you're still listening to this podcast, which I doubt, because we're super inconsistent at recording, and I just think you're really polite. I don't think you actually like it. But if you are here, bonus. We're finally doing bonus content. And we're close to starting to do videos. We're on YouTube now, all the things. So bonus, okay?
So I can talk about my third one, and then you can talk about the rest of whatever was on your list.
Maybe I'll run through quick, but I think a
Okay.
bonus one for each, unless you just really want to hear all of them.
So I remember, and this is not part of it, but this is the prequel to it. I remember when you were turning 29, and you told me you didn't
That
want
doesn't happen for
you
another
told
like
me
5
you
years.
didn't want a 30th birthday. So I
Said I
was a
didn't want a
sneaky
birthday.
wife and planned you a 29th birthday party.
You were
Okay.
sneaky.
That's not the memory that I was going to talk about.
Especially since it happened in like April.
So, no, it was around your birthday.
Okay.
But anyway, the year after that, I turned 30. And you wanted to take me and do something for my birthday. And you took me to the Bavarian Inn in Frankmoose. And we had, nice dinners and all that stuff because it was like a package dealio or whatever. But like the one thing I always go back to, and that's just like one of the big things, is that we would always go, and I wish there was one closer, but we love to go into the arcade with each other. So like I remember doing that trip, or might as well say trip, because I think, well, we were still lived in Vassar, right? I think at the time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, it's like our
It
backyard
was
trip basically. But
pre-COVID.
it was pre-COVID. So like my birthday obviously was in February, and then like beginning of March is when like the whole world started to shut down. So like that was kind of a moment in time before life as we know it now, like, or even like COVID, like it
Yeah.
was just a sense of like pre-COVID before like it was cool to look back at it now and go, oh, that was actually pre-COVID and feels like a lifetime ago. But
We spent a stupid amount of money on that, especially in the arcade. It really told me that we're not really adults.
yeah,
Uh, We're just don't have anybody holding us accountable for
Wonka
things.
cards.
Yeah, we played this Wonka arcade game where you got cards and coins. That was like a coin pusher game, and we'd have more things paid off had we not discovered that
Mm.
game.
Anyway,
That was a
so
good bonus one.
I remember doing
I
that.
don't know about that, and you did so good for me throwing that birthday party in spite of me being the way I am. So it was good and thoughtful. Yeah, we're so I would say the bonus one that I would pick on this would be the first day at our house in Vassar. Just like we spent, we had your brothers and stuff over helping and paint and do things, but like that first day when it was just us kind of there, just kind of looking around at the end of the day, like all the things we were doing, working on it to just make it a home and a place. The carpet, it ripped up in the one room that I think I'm still breathing the fibers and dirt and
Yeah,
mold and stuff that was in that, and then just sleeping on
food.
the futon and the limited amount of furniture we had. I don't even think we had water yet,
No, I don't think so.
because that had to get contracted and fixed when we first got in the house. And like by all means, it was a dump really that we shouldn't have been staying in yet, but it was ours, and I don't know, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Other ones I'd written down and thought about. See, we talked about that one, that one, that one, that one. Our talk out at Roberta's Walk a few years ago before I started working here, when the wind was going crazy and the reeds were really high, um, because the bay was up and doing good, and it just one of the like deepest faith conversations I think we've had in our relationship. Our first day that we were in Vegas on our honeymoon after driving across the
Mhm.
country, where we just like, again, that was kind of like the way we've been in arcades. We just kind of cut loose and just did whatever we wanted and went and ate wherever we wanted and doing what we wanted. And it was really
We went to
carefree.
see Titanic.
We did. Did we do that on the first
I
day?
believe so. Yeah.
Um, and then I wrote this one down, and like I can picture in my head the trip that it was and what we did, but we took this really snowy trip up to the lake house one time, just the two of us. And I don't remember when. I don't like I could not place in my head what year it was, what month it was. I just know we had like a weekend and it snowed so much. And we still drove around Oscoda and all the
Mhm.
places, and
I thought you were going on the, I'm gonna take him up to Mackinac for Christmas and everything else was shut down. I thought that's where you were going with that.
listen, I have ideas. They're not all good. The only other one I had on here was all the work we did outside together on the house during COVID when like you couldn't do other things.
Mm, yeah.
And then tied to that, I would put delivering cookies and things during COVID uh, to families. But yeah, I think that was cool and a lot of fun. This was good. I think
Mhm.
we need more topics and things like this. This was a lot of facilitated back and forth. I think this is a really good idea. I had this might go on the memory list.
Okay.
Is there anything else we need to talk about before we pray? Anything for the people, for Alicia, for Asher, Silas, whoever's listening, moms?
Did you pull a scripture for today or no?
Nope. No, I
Okay.
was too focused on all the other homework. The Bible's still important, guys. You should read it. It's good. Noah June thinks it's boring, but don't listen to him. It's really good.
I was just curious because like even in the Bible, there's, moments of reflection and reminiscing and things like that, that once you talk through those or reminisce back, it's part of your formation, or your, in many cases with us, our faith formation and how we became Christians. So that's why I was just, or how we continue in our walk as Christians. So I was just curious if you actually had a scripture for
Think that's
this
good.
topic.
I didn't prepare that. You guys deserve better. I'll try and get better, I promise. Or you know what?
I
Don't.
mean,
Start your own podcast.
it is perfect in love with John and Kim. I am the second part of it. I could have done it too.
She brings up a good point. Hey, let's pray. Jesus. Makes you sigh every time. I like it. Lord, thank you. Thank you so much for this time. Thank you for the smile that I just get talking with my wife, who is a present and a gift and just a blessing. Um, Thank you for companionship, and thank you for building us, creating us to be in community, and teaching us what love is and how all that matters. Thank you for memories and um, just the ability to recognize good times and recognize good in times that are not our favorite memories to have. Lord, I pray for everyone listening to this um, that they know you, that they know that you love them and that you've created them for good things and you've created good works for them to do. And I pray for everyone listening that knows you, they just be bold and courageous and that they live for those works that you've created for them, that they live for you, that they glorify you in all that they do, and that our actions and our words are glorifying to you, Lord. We ask all these things in your holy and precious name. Amen. Um, we did have Alicia had texted me after the last time we recorded, and she said, you might owe a story to explaining the whole inside joke with the high pitched Jesus thing to the podcast people someday. But I'm gonna wait until there are more people listening to the episodes before we do that. Like I'm just not going to explain it. I think that is a good place to live. So
Well,
if you're curious and you're listening, you know what? You should ask. You should say something. Or you should like get more people listening to this and then maybe I'll be brave enough and I'll do it. Heh. Love y'all. It's been fun. Been good.
yeah, it's been fun. It's been real fun.
All right. Bye.
Bye.